The most famous witch hunt in history. How the Salem trial took place. It must be said that the town of Salem, located in Massachusetts, had a bad reputation even before the witch trials. Local residents constantly divided property and land, had conflicts and sorted things out. On the other hand, how else could you have fun? After all, they were Puritans, for whom even children's toys were considered pampering. It all started in January 1692. The pastor's daughter Elizabeth and his niece Abigail, girls 9 and 11 years old, began to behave not just suspiciously, but downright frighteningly. Made strange sounds, threw objects, hid under furniture, their bodies took strange positions. They also complained of needles, stabbing all over their bodies. The doctor did not find any signs of physical illness in the girls. Well, when the pastor decided to preach a sermon over them, they began to cover their ears. An unknown disease began to spread. Soon several more girls began to show similar symptoms. Obviously, nowadays, in a similar case, they would rush to look for medical reasons. But at the end of the 17th century, everything was even more obvious. Witches settled in the city. The first witch was found quickly. She turned out to be a woman of Indian origin named Tituba, who served in the pastor's house. The girls stated that Tituba taught them witchcraft, but one witch was not enough to close the case. 2 more women were accused of witchcraft. All 3 accused were easy prey for the Puritans, lonely and without connections. In addition, all of them have not gone to church for a long time, which is suspicious. In March, new accused were added to those under arrest, including the 4-year-old daughter of one of the women, Sarah Good. The girl apparently wanted to see her mother in prison and innocently admitted that she is also a witch. The accusation of 3 more women agitated the community. Unlike the first batch of witches, these 3 were devoted parishioners and came from influential families. If the devil could lure such women into his net, he can lure anyone. As you have already noticed, it was women who especially enjoyed the devil's sympathy. The Puritans believed that women were weak in body and could not resist the devil's charms, which is why they most often became witches. Despite this chauvinist attitude, in April arrests also affected men. Farmer John Proctor was arrested along with his wife Elizabeth, as well as the husband of another defendant, 80-year-old Sheila Corey, and former Salem pastor George Burroughs. The witch hunt has reached unprecedented proportions. In just a few months, 150 people were accused and imprisoned of having connections with the devil, residents not only of Salem, but also of neighboring Boston. The trial began in May. There was no doubt that the devil himself sent the unknown disease to the girls. All that remained for the court to find out was whether the defendants collaborated with the devil, that is, gave him permission to use their image, or whether he acted against their will. The main evidence was the visions of the girls, and since they assured that the accused appeared to them, or rather, the devil appeared in the guise of the accused, the fate of the unfortunate ones was sealed. Executions began in June. The first woman to be hanged, on June 10, was Bridget Bishop. The execution of former Salem pastor George Burroughs caused particular unrest among residents. More than 30 people asked for a reduced sentence for the former pastor. In addition, already on the scaffold, Burroughs read the prayer completely and without a single hesitation. It was believed that neither a witch nor anyone under the influence of devilish forces could do this. But the sentence was carried out anyway. In total, 11 people were executed by the fall, and 81-year-old Sheila Corey, who refused to testify, was subjected to torture under the French name peine forte et dure. Prolonged torment. It was already considered outdated in the 17th century. It was applied to defendants